What did your child's school nurse do that made you want to hurt them? When Tommy was 6, my ex-wife took him away, just packed up and disappeared one night. For 3 years, I fought through courts and hired private investigators, but nothing. My son was gone. Then last winter, a detective called. They'd found him in a small town 800 miles away. The custody battle was brutal, but I finally got my son back. The problem was, he'd forgotten me. The courts mandated therapy 3 times a week, and slowly, my 9-year-old started to trust me again. Tommy had night terrors at first. He'd wake up screaming, not knowing where he was. The therapist suggested we find something constant, something he could anchor to. That's when Tommy pulled out this ratty blue beanie from his backpack. It was the one thing my ex hadn't thrown away. "Dad, it still smells like our old house," he told me, pressing it to his nose. Those first months were hard. Tommy would flinch when I moved too quickly. He'd hide food in his room, afraid I might not feed him tomorrow. My ex had told him horrible lies, that I didn't want him, that I'd hurt him if he ever came back. The beanie became his security blanket. He wore it everywhere. To school, during bath time, even to bed. On the rare good days, when he'd laugh at my terrible jokes or let me hug him without tensing up, that beanie would be pushed back on his head. His therapist recorded their sessions so I could understand what Tommy was feeling. In one session, Tommy clutched the beanie and whispered, "When I smell it, I remember Dad teaching me to ride my bike before everything got bad." The school was understanding at first. His teacher, Ms. Calloway, let him wear the beanie in class despite the no hats policy. She saw how he'd touch it when he got anxious, how he'd breathe deeper after pressing it to his face. But Nurse Granger was different. From day one, she'd make comments about hygiene and school standards. She didn't see a traumatized child, she saw a dirty hat. Twice, she'd sent notes home suggesting I launder the boy's accessories. Last week, he asked to play catch in the backyard, something we used to do every Sunday before the divorce. While we played, his beanie fell off, and for 10 whole minutes, he didn't scramble to put it back on. Then came that Tuesday in April. I was in a meeting when my phone rang. "Mr. Wilson, this is Nurse Granger from Lincoln Elementary. Your son is having a severe allergic reaction. We've called an ambulance." I broke every speed limit getting there. When I arrived, Tommy was on a stretcher, his face swollen, struggling to breathe. The nurse stood nearby, looking worried. "What happened?" I demanded, grabbing Tommy's hand. "He was fine until recess," she explained. Then his face started swelling. We administered his EpiPen immediately. At the hospital, they stabilized him and ran tests. The doctor was confused. "He's showing signs of a reaction to benzoyl peroxide. It's commonly found in acne medications. Has he been using any new face products?" He was 9. Of course not. When Tommy was well enough to talk, I asked him what happened. "Nurse Granger took my beanie," he whispered. "She said it was too dirty to wear inside. She gave it back at recess." My blood ran cold. I asked the hospital to test the beanie. 2 days later, the results confirmed everything. The nurse had washed Tommy's beanie with her teenage son's acne-medicated face towels. The chemical residue had transferred to the beanie, causing Tommy's reaction. I confronted the school principal, who defended the nurse. She was just trying to help. The hat was filthy. I showed him the hospital report. My son could have died because she decided to wash something that wasn't hers. The principal stammered an apology and offered to have a talk with the nurse. "This wasn't just a hat," I said, my voice breaking. "This was the only thing helping my son heal from trauma your school nurse knew nothing about. She had no right." The nurse was fired the next day. That night, as I tucked Tommy in, he asked in a small voice, "Dad, can you make my beanie smell like home again?" I held him close, fighting back tears. "I don't know, buddy, but we'll make new memories and new smells, and someday, maybe those will feel like home."